In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use OpenAI Whisper API to transcribe and translate audio files in Python. Alright, so OpenAI Whisper is an automatic speech recognition model, and with the OpenAI Whisper API, we can now integrate speech-to-text transcription functionality into our applications to translate or transcribe audio with ease. So comparing to the open source Whisper Python library, the Web Whisper API service can process media files much faster, a lot easier to use, and with more configuration options. And you can even return the output in different formats, such as a JSON file, text file, or VTT SRT files that you can directly upload to YouTube as the caption. So what are some of the benefits using Whisper API? Right, so for one, you can use Whisper API to make your audio content more accessible to users who are deaf or hard of hearing by providing accurate transcriptions of spoken words. And developers can use the API to automatically generate transcriptions of audio and video contents, make it easier to search and index the content. Now, before diving into the tutorial, I want to quickly just cover the pricing. So to use the Whisper's API, it's going to cost you 0.006 cents per minute. So if you transcribe or translate 10 minutes audio content, it's going to cost you 6 cents. Now, to use Whisper's API, first you will need to sign up for an account. And if you don't have an account, simply go to openai.com/API. Then click on Get Started to sign up for an account. And as a new user, you get $18 of credit to use, but the credit is going to expire after 3 months, just FYI. Now here, let me log into my account first. Alright, so once you log into your account, you want to click on your username, then click on View API Keys. Now here, we want to create a new secret key, and this is going to be your API key. Now copy the API key to some safe. It can be a notepad, or you can save the API key to your environment variable. Now for demonstration purpose, I'm going to save the API key to my Python script. Alright, so here I'm going to create a variable called API key, and I'll paste the API key. Alright, so once we create the API key, we need to install the OpenAI Python package. Right, so to install the package, we can run the command pip install OpenAI, and that's it. And for this lesson, I'll be using these two audio files. The first media file is going to be this Japanese podcast. I think it's a 11 seconds video. I don't know if you can hear the sounds. Basically, this podcaster is speaking Japanese. And we're going to use OpenAI Whisper API to translate the audio into English. And the other media file is going to be this WAV file. And it's Steve Jobs' goodbye speech. And it's 1 minute 35 seconds long audio. Now going back to the Python script, here I'm going to import the OpenAI Python module. Let me increase the font size. Next, I want to create a variable called model ID. Now with the Whisper API, it is using a model called Whisper-1, which is equivalent to the large V2 audio model trained based on 680,000 hours of audio data. Basically, this is the most powerful and accurate audio model OpenAI has currently. Alright, so here we insert the model ID. Next, I want to create two variables to point to my media files. So this one is going to be transcribing the audio file. And I'll name the variable called media file path. And it's going to be the file path to this audio file. And to upload the media file, we need to convert the media file into binary object. Alright, so I'll name the object media file. Then we can open the file as read binary. Now to make the API code to transcribe the media file, and it's really easy. You simply code the OpenAI module .audio.transcribe. And I'll name the output response. Now inside the transcribe method, we need to provide the API key. Then we need to specify the model by providing the model ID. Then we'll supply the file, and it's going to be media file. So the default output is going to return as a JSON format. And if we want to return the transcription as different formats, such as text file or SRT, VTT formats, then we'll use the response format parameter. Then we'll insert the format type. And currently this text file, JSON, SRT, and VTT. And these four are the most commonly used format right now. Alright, so for demonstration purpose, let's do SRT. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this code block manually. Now let's look at the output. Alright, so we have the response. Alright, so here we're getting this API error. And it's 200 HTTP code error from the API. But here's the SRT output, which is created correctly. Alright, so I think right now, because the API just released, so I think there's still a couple issues happening. And I'm pretty sure that this issue will get resolved pretty quickly. Oh, and this one thing I forgot to mention that. Alright, so this is pretty important. So right now, the Whisper's API only support files up to 25 megabytes. And if your media file is larger than 25 megabytes, in that case, you will need to chunk the file into different pieces. And which I'll show you how to chunk a media file in a second. Alright, so here I'm going to rerun this transcribe method. And I'll take out the response format parameter. Oh, and because when we open the media file, and it's going to load as a buffer. So we need to reload the media file again. Alright, so if I run the transcribe method, and if I print response, and it's going to return as an OpenAI response object. Now, from this OpenAI response object, if we want to retrieve the transcription, we'll reference the data attribute. And that returns the dictionary, and text is going to be the key. So I'm going to reference the text key to print the transcription. Now, that's for the transcription lesson. Now, if I want to translate a media file, alright, so here I'm going to copy this code block to the other Python script. Alright, so again, we need to load the file as binary. And the file name is going to be this video Japanese.mp4 file. And I'll grab this code block right here. Now, to translate a media file, we'll simply use the translate method instead of transcribe. And everything else is going to be the same. And I want to show you one thing in a second. But for now, let me make this request. Right, so here, it's not liking the media file format. Right, so let me see what's going on here. I'm able to make a request this time. Now, if we look at the transcription, now if we do a caption comparison, so we start with hello everyone, we're presenting easy Japanese from Senda. Now, if we just look at the first couple sentence, right, so everything looks pretty good. It's able to recognize that the original audio language is going to be in Japanese. Now, just in case if the translation came out incorrectly, in that case, we can use the prompt parameter to guide the Whisper AI. How should the AI to translate the media file? So, for example, I can say the podcast language is in Japanese. And it's going to use the prompt as the hint to basically ensure that it's adding more details on how should the media to get translated. And this is something I think is pretty useful when it comes to translating an audio file that other companies are not doing. Now, the last lesson is going to be how to chunk a media file into pieces. All right, so here I'm going to create a new script, and I'll name the script chunk audio file. Actually, let's do chunk media.py. And you can treat this script as a template, and it's meant to be reusable for other purposes as well. Anyway, to chunk your media file, you'll need to install this Python package called pydub. And you can install the Python package using the pip install pydub command. Now, this line is going to assign the file path to this audio file path variable. Then we need to extract the media file extension. Then we'll load the media file using the audio segment class. And based on the file type that you're using, I'm using WAV file, so I'm going to use the from WAV method, and I'll pass the WAV file path. Now, if I'm using other file formats such as MP4, then this from, let's see if it's going to, okay. So these are all the supported methods for other file format. So we have MP3, WAV file, I don't see MP4, and I guess MP4 file is not supported, only audio file formats. So based on your file type, you want to use the correct method to load the audio file. And when I split the media files, I want to use this string as the file name. And I'll store the string into this variable called output prefix. Now, the pydub Python library handles time in milliseconds. So basically, 1000 is equivalent to 1 second. And 60 times 1000 is going to be 1 minute. So these are just some of the example unions how you want to chunk your audio file into different interval, I guess. Now, I want to split the audio file into 1 minute each. So first I need to figure out the total duration of the audio file. And I can do that by using this duration seconds attribute from the audio segment object, which I load the audio file. And once we have the total duration, I'm going to add 1 second to the total second just to address the rounding issue. Then I need to convert the unit into milliseconds by times 1000. And finally, to chunk the file into pieces. In this case, will be 1 minute audio file each. So here I'm going to create a variable called chunk union, and it's going to be the chunk interval that I'm going to use. In this case, it's going to be 1 minute. If I want to split a large media file by, let's say, 5 minutes per file, in that case, you will times 5 as the chunk union. Next, you will basically iterate the total durations based on your chunk union size. Then we'll slice the audio file object. So here is going to be the segment that I'm going to split based on. So this is going to be the beginning audio segment timestamp plus 1 minute. Then I can export the file using the export method. And it's going to be the audio file name followed by the audio file extension. And we need to specify the audio file format. In this case, it's going to be WAV file. All right, so let me put this on the left. And let me terminate the sessions. Now, if I press F5 to run the script. All right, so here's the first file, minute 1. And I don't see minute 2. Oh, I know why, because here it's chunking into 5 minutes per file. All right, so let me rerun the script. All right, so this time I have 2 files based on Steve Jobs' goodbye speech. And it's a 1 minute, 35 seconds long audio file. So it's going to chunk into, the first file is going to be 1 minute. And the second file is going to be 35 seconds. Now we want to transcribe a large audio file. You'll basically chunk the file into 25 megabytes file size per file. So this is going to be everything I'm going to share in this video. And hopefully you guys find this video useful. And feel free to post your question or your feedback in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like this video and click on the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.